So, I love poetry. Poetry is a way of writing that helps us to see the world in a different way. If we read a poem, sometimes we get a whole new idea about something. And that's what is going to happen when we read the poem today. And it's called Wind Pictures, and it's on page 20. So sometimes when you're outside and it's a lovely day and there might be a few clouds in the sky, it's a really fun thing to do, to look up in the sky and look at the clouds and see what kind of pictures or shapes they might be making. And that is what this poem is about looking at the clouds and trying to see if you could work out whether or not they look like anything in particular. So let's read this from the beginning. Look, there's a giant stretching in the sky. 1,000 white-maned horses flying by. A house, a mother mountain with her hills, a lazy lady posing in her frills, cotton floating from 1,000 bales, and a white ship with white sails. See the old witch fumbling with her shawl, white towers piling on a castle wall, the bits of soft that break and fall away, airborne mushrooms with undersides of grey. Above, a white doe races with her fawn on the white grass of a celestial lawn. Lift up your lovely heads and look as wind turns clouds into a picture book. So it's basically listing all of the things, well, not all of the things, but some of the things you might see if you look up in the sky one day when there are some clouds. So we can see perhaps a giant stretching in the sky, white horses, a lady posing in her frills. If you're posing, it means that you're showing off a little bit. You're standing in a position where everybody can look at you. And she's wearing a frilly dress. When we talk about frills, it's probably a long frilly dress. Okay? Cotton floating from 1,000 bales. When we talk about a bale, that's a measurement for cotton or hay in a cluster. Okay? So, what's a doe? Let's go down here and look at this word here. Above, a white doe races with her fawn. Well, a doe is the name of a female deer, and a fawn is a baby deer. And there it says, on the white grass of a celestial lawn. When we talk about celestial, celestial refers to up in the sky or in the heavens. So anything celestial is to do with the sky or the stars or heaven. All right, now what's the rhyming scheme of this poem? Well, this poem has every 2 lines that rhyme. So you've got sky and by, they rhyme. And then you've got hills and frills, and then you've got bales and sails. So we call these rhyming couplets. A couplet means 2. So every 2 lines contains rhyming couplets. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the questions. Set 1, getting the facts. What is the correct answer? What is making the wind pictures? Is it the trees? Is it the clouds? Or is it the hills? Well, that's an easy question. We know that she's talking about clouds. It even says so at the end, as wind turns clouds into a picture book. So the answer there is B, the clouds. Number 2, what is the lady doing? Is she A, fumbling with her shawl, B, posing in her frills, or C, riding a white-maned horse? The lady is posing in her frills, isn't she? So the answer there is B. And I'll leave you to do question 3 by yourself. Let's have a look at set 2, drawing conclusions. You need to write true or false for the following statements. Number 1, this is a rhyming poem. Well, that's true, isn't it? It definitely is a rhyming poem. So you can write true next to that. Number 2, there are hundreds of horses flying by. Oh no, there's more than hundreds, there are thousands. Okay, so the answer for that one is false. And then on the next page, set 3, making inferences, you've got to choose the correct ending for each sentence. So number 1 says, the poet. The poet A would like everyone to become a cloud. No, it doesn't say that in the poem, does it? B would like everyone to stop and look at the clouds. I think that's probably a better answer. At the beginning he says, look, there's a giant stretching in the sky. And then at the end he says, lift up your lovely heads and look. So yes, that's what he wants us all to do. Next time we're outside, look at the clouds and see if we can see any shapes or pictures in them. Alright, so homework, you need to read a poem by Jack Prelutsky, and it's called Bugs, Bugs, and it's quite a funny poem. It's all about different kinds of bugs, and he likes them. The man in this poem actually likes bugs, but I don't like bugs very much at all. So have a read. It's quite a fun one to read and practice to yourself, or maybe you could read it out to mum and dad, and then you need to finish set 1, set 2 and set 3 in that section.